Fasten your seatbelts for the realest Eagles and Sixers YouTuber! One who plays no clickbait and gets to the point! The myth, the legend, Nicky Stees! Come to my channel, you know the deal. Yo, boy, always keeps things real. I'm simply statue, think they slate, dropping unrealistic match. 2K takes for the clip. Even though cats like that get views closer to the millie, never hear me preach, slip on to Philly. Before you watch the Eagles all the way through the early 22, authentic talk, forget what others do. Come to my channel, you know the deal. Yo, boy, always keeps things real. The 24/7, 365 way. Sports content for the reals that feel the day. Happy Friday, y'all. Hope this is a great way for you to start your weekend. Welcome to the Nicky Stees Philadelphia Eagles versus New Orleans Saints Week 3 preview. Stopping by and you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe both Nicky Stees channel and the Hardcore Sports Network. But I'm sure most of y'all have already done that. And now let's get into it. We'll kick off this weekend talking about the Sunday 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time matchup between the Eagles and the Saints. Now, going into this one, the Saints are 2.5-point favorites, not by much, but the Saints, to their credit, they start off the season 2-0. Now, week 1, it's interesting with the Saints because we went into week 1, we saw them beat the Panthers, like, all right, that was the Panthers. The Panthers are a dumpster fire. But then you go to week 2, they ended up beating the Cowboys in similar fashion. Now the question is, are the Saints actually that good when they're healthy? Has Derek Carr found the right chemistry with his teammates now? Has he had more time to adjust to the Saints system? Or how are the Dallas Cowboys taking a step down? And it's an example of the Saints beating up on two poor teams. But we will know as the season goes along. But however, the reason the Saints are the favorites in this matchup is because they're 2-0 and they dropped over 40 on both their opponents. They scored a total of 91 points in 2 weeks, dismantling the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys, whereas the Eagles were 1-1. We did beat the Packers in Brazil, but then last week we struggled all game long against the Atlanta Falcons in a 1-point loss on Monday night. So obviously the Saints are coming into this game with more momentum on their side, and as a result, they're the favorites to win. And another reason for that is now you're at the point A.J. Brown's out for week 3, which means this will be the second straight game Eagles are without their top wide receiver, which is going to have an effect on their offense. We saw how it affected their offense Monday night against the Falcons. I mean, we figured since it was the Falcons, yeah, we were kind of with the perspective, okay, yeah, AJ being out will affect the offense, but we didn't think it would be that much of a problem because, and to be fair, the second half, the Eagles did still have a good offense. I mean, Jalen Hurts still made most of those plays with his feet, and Saquon was still doing good minus that drop pass. But then you got now A.J. Brown's out for the second straight week. But even with the Eagles having some good moments on offense, you saw it was a different look without A.J. Brown. And now you're going against the Saints, who so far are looking like one of the top teams in the NFC. you're going against the Saints without him, and then you got CJ Gardner-Johnson on the defensive side. The ball's questionable when your defense we already saw red flags with Fangio's defense week 2 against the Falcons. Now we're going against the top offenses in the league so far, and you're going to get going without CJ Gardner-Johnson. I mean, that just puts us in a tougher hole on paper. It was already looking like, let's see, Little G Griffin thinks Eagles 27, Saints 14. I mean, 27-14, that would be great if that happens. But the thing is with me, the Eagles defense, we struggle. The Eagles said cornerbacks, they did the best they could Monday, but even then the cornerbacks look shady. Darius Slay, he's been kind of MIA. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he did have the stop on that 4th down conversion that should have put the game away. But now he's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. And then you got on the other side, and then you got the pass rush is the biggest concern. And that brings me to this question. Can the Eagles defense get any sort of pass rush going whatsoever? Because we saw last week against the Falcons, this defense, the way it's constructed right now, does not have the ability to pressure the quarterback. They only got 1 sack on Kirk Cousins, a quarterback who is notorious for folding under pressure. And this defense could not get enough of a pass rush going against him. Now you got to step up against a better offense, and you got to somehow find a way to do a complete 180 against that Saints offensive line and somehow get a pass rush going. You got to do something different. Get Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis in the middle. Use them as the guys that can wreak havoc against the centers and force the Saints to work around them. I mean, you got to try something different at this point to at least get some sort of pass rush going against the Saints team, because what you're doing so far has not worked. Now, in week 1 against the Packers, we didn't really get much of a pass rush going there, but we kind of got away with it because our offense was on fire the whole game, that we didn't really need to get the pass rush going that game. But then week 2, when the offense couldn't score as many points, you saw how much of a difference you saw the difference factor there. You saw the lack of pass rush more evident. Now you're going against a Saints team. If this defense can't do something to turn it around, we're going to get picked apart by Derek Carr, plain and simple. So that's why it's important that we must get a pass rush. We have to get some pressure to Carr. We have to at least force him to throw quickly. We have to at least get 3 sacks, at least 3 to 4 sacks in this one, for us to have any chance of stopping the Saints offense the way they've been rolling so far. So we have to do something different. And like I said, we have to find a way to get to the quarterback. Because you saw for Cousins, when he was throwing, stepping back, who had time to throw, he completed most of his passes, especially that final drive. We were up by 6. They just zoomed down the field on us. Cousins had plenty of time to get his feet set, throw the ball, find his receiver, and keep the ball, keep the chains moving. Keep the chains moving until they finally got that touchdown. And he did it in such quick fashion. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. So the Eagles, they have to they have to get something going. Absolutely 100% positively have to against the Saints offense. Because if Derek Carr has all day to pass, which so far the Eagles have done well with, he's going to have weapons to pick us apart with. You got Chris Olave, who's doing so. You got Rashid Shaheed, who's come out, who's looking like a breakout star for the Saints so far. If we can't get any pass rush on them, those 2 guys, Olave and Rashid and Shaheed, they will pick apart this Eagles secondary. Trust me. No, it's necessary. Yeah, that we got to win this battle at the line defensively to have any shot at winning this game and turning things around to do what Little G Griffin suggests, to even come close to 27-14. I mean, no offense to you. I'm not saying that to be done to say, oh, there's no way we can do it. I'm saying is what we have to do to even have a shot at that prediction coming true is we have to win the battle up front. And then let's not forget Alvin Kamara, even though he's not as explosive as he was when he first started back in 2017, 2018, 2019, even 2020, when Alvin Kamara gets going, he can still have a good game like he did last week against the Cowboys. He was still at 3 rushing touchdowns plus that catching touchdown. And not to mention, Kamara is a weapon in the passing game too. So let's not forget about that either. Alvin Kamara, he can roll against this team if we don't stop him. So this is there's a lot of pressure on this Eagles defense. And my confidence going into that isn't high. But I'm hoping that somehow, some way, this team finds a way to prove me wrong. And I know I'm talking a lot about the defense here when this is an offensive first sport, but I'm talking about it because that's going to be the key to us having a chance in this game. You guys, like we said, we've seen what the Saints can do when they're at their best on that side of the ball. They've scored, let me remind you guys, well, as I said, 91 points in 2 weeks. This offense knows how to score when things are going. Now, granted, it was against the Panthers week 1, who are dumpster fire, and the Cowboys who, well, we're not really sure what the Cowboys are going to be yet. As of so far through 2 weeks, the Cowboys are meh. So we're talking about So the second week, you beat this Cowboys team who we don't know what they're going to be. Now, they're a better team than the Panthers, but we still don't know what the Cowboys truly are. We'll find out come November, December, as we get close to the playoffs. We'll see how good or average the Cowboys really are. But the point being is, though, the Saints, we know what they can do on offense. Now, is that something they can keep up throughout the whole season? I don't know about that. I do think that eventually as the season goes along, the Saints will come crashing down a little bit. Maybe when you got to go in against Tampa Bay, a couple of those games against them, or the Saints get a few tougher games, maybe you'll see them come down to earth a little bit. But as of right now, they look like a good team. And I'm telling you, man, and this is the worst time we could have got New Orleans on the schedule. We got them when they're at their hottest. So there's a lot of pressure on us in this game on the defensive side of the ball after last week. And we're lucky we only gave up 22 points because we were playing, let me put it this way. If we came in to a game against any of the better team, any better offense, Kansas City, New Orleans, who we're playing this week and we're talking about now, even Baltimore, despite their 0-2 start, or any team with a better offense, hell, Seattle even, the way we played against the Falcons, we would have gave up a lot more than 22 points. So I'm telling you, we have got to change it up this week. Vic Fangio has to do something to get some pressure going. That's the one way we're going to make their passing game less efficient. So that's going to tie me into the keys to victory. The first key to victory, obviously, like I said, get some pass rush going. I just went on about it for minutes. I said all I was going to say. I made the point. Use Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, get some pressure up the middle, force Derek Carr to throw the ball. Maybe you throw those guys in the middle. You know, you can minimize Alvin Kamara's efficiency running the ball, and that's something else we got to do. We need some run stopping especially in those defensive linemen like Davis and Carter. Those are our main 2 pieces on this defensive lineman, on this D line, to getting pass rush and to slowing down Alvin Kamara's efficiency. So that's the second key to victory. We have to be able to stop the run. We struggled against the Falcons, against Bijan Robinson, and now you're going against Alvin Kamara, who's not as explosive as he was early in his career, but we know what Alvin Kamara can be. And we know he can be a threat if we don't find a way to break down, to get on the run. So that's a key right there. And then another key right there. We got to use Jalen Hurts. We got to use the run game first. We got to use the run game to set up the pass. Through Saquon and through Hurts, we got to do it. Because that was the one good thing we were doing both weeks 1 and week 2. So we got to stick to the run game. We know it works. Let's do it here in this matchup. The third key to victory right there. And another key to victory. Take the points every time you get them. I know that may sound a little bit fickle, but dude, after last week, the Eagles should learn their lesson from that attempted fourth down early when we were in field goal range. You should have took the points. If we did, we probably would have won that game. Just saying, take the points every chance you get. No need to get cute. We learned that last week from the Eagles. We learned it from the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game last year against the Niners. So take the points. And another key to victory, don't keep the offensive lineman from going past the line of scrimmage. All right, how many times did we get flagged for an eligible man downfield? How many stupid boneheaded penalties did we make? All right, we need to get it together, stop with these stupid penalties, and do something. That's another key to victory. We have to play disciplined. I know I haven't used that term a lot in a while, but after last week, it's something the Eagles have to focus on. Take a disciplined approach, make an effort to stop the boneheaded mistakes. And my final key to victory for this one is going to be for the defense, play a man-to-man. Okay? Defense, try to play your defensive backs man-to-man. Hope for something to happen out of it. I mean, if we can follow those keys right there, hopefully we can get the win. Hopefully leave last week in the past, bring the Saints crashing down a little bit. And I hope the Eagles do that. Now I'm going to move on to my score prediction. Even though obviously I want the Eagles to win since that's my team. I just laid out the keys to victory for them. But realistically, going into this one, I don't have a lot of confidence in them. I think this game, I got the Saints winning it 35-20. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, obviously. You know, I hope that they prove me wrong. Hopefully the Eagles come out, do what they need to do. Hopefully the defense does a big turnaround. Hopefully the offense gets rolling, can score some points. But considering the Eagles are down without A.J. Brown, and they're considering their struggled a little bit offensively without him last week against the Falcons, now you're going against a Saints team that's better than the Falcons. And considering the way the defense has looked, I'm not confident going into this matchup. But obviously, I hope they prove me wrong, and I hope the Eagles get the win. This is the one prediction for the week I hope I'm wrong on. But I do have the Saints winning 35-20. So hopefully, though, I'm wrong on it. But we will see what happens. So that's really all I got for you guys. I mean, I'm not going to be streaming the game. I'll be dropping a YouTube short on my channel after the game's over, sometime in the evening, depending on what, giving my thoughts on it or going on another rant, depending on the outcome of the game. But I will drop my thoughts on the game right there. I will drop my thoughts regardless. And once we go off the air here, which I will in about a minute or two, I'm going to drop a YouTube short on my channel talking about A.J. Brown officially being ruled out for week 3. Even though I did discuss it here on the stream, I'm just going to do it as a YouTube short for those that didn't catch it. And plus, those short videos do good for views, especially when you're talking about something that's trending. So I'm going to do that. And everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show right here. Shout out to Emily, Daniel Berry, Little G Griffith for coming through in the chat. And to everyone that catch this, either live or on the replay, thank you. Hope you have a wonderful night. And right there on the screen, I'm sharing the link to my Twitter. You guys can follow me up. So as always, thank you to everyone. Thanks to the Hardcore Sports Network for letting me create content for their channel. Thanks to everyone that tunes into my streams. You guys are the reason I get to do this as a hobby. When I have downtime, get to come on here, share my thoughts about sports, to help serve as an escape from the grind and whatever else is going on in the world. So thank you guys as always for your support. Have a wonderful night or day if you're catching this on the replay. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hopefully they'll prove me wrong on my prediction and actually win this game. We'll find out. Come back, talk about it next week on Tuesday. So until next time, Nikki Stees signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you don't catch any of my content. Peace.